Hey guys, it's RobJ here, and today's video I'll be showing you how I go about cleaning the types of Outworlds that I have. This was quite a highly requested video to be made, so here it is. The bread and butter of my cleaning regimen is a USB Hoover. Now, you can pick these up for about £2 on eBay, and they're well worth it, because when it comes to cleaning your Outworlds, I wouldn't be able to do it without it, or at least not to the level of this. Now, cleaning Outworld is never going to be, they're never going to be 100% clean. You can hope for about 70% cleaner than when you went in. That's the mark that you want to be doing, and the Hoover allows you to achieve that. So mainly you'll be looking for their main trash pile area, their graveyard area, and any sort of dumping ground that the ants have, as well as pieces of uneaten crickets, exoskeleton, pieces of mealworm shell, that sort of thing. You've got to hunt that down as well. So as you can see, this is me just working my way through a few various different types of Outworlds, and it should give you a good idea of how I go about cleaning each type of Outworld. As most of my grout Outworlds will get the Hoover treatment, as well as the ungrouted Outworlds, but I'm going to give you a mix of ants. I'll give you sort of larger ants, I'll give you the microscopic tiny ants, and I'll do a few different types of Outworlds to keep you an idea of how I go about things. But mainly you just want to hoover all the loose debris, including sand, any loose sand, anything like that sort. And if you have like a dirt build up on the sand, try and sort of like rub some sand off that has the dirt on it. And like I said, you're never going to get them 100% clean. The best you can hope for is to clean out any loose dirt and any high build-ups. So these are very small Tetromorium ants, and basically I'm going to show you how I deal with these. Now there's no way of really cleaning these without hoovering a few of them up, but the Hoover has a nice little filter that the ants just hold on to after being hoovered up, and they always come out unharmed, or at least in my experience. I've been able to rescue all ants that I've ever hoovered up by accident, but with these little ants, you will be hoovering them up every single time you clean. There's no way about it. They get in their own rubbish. Some ants leave the rubbish pile alone, like most. These tend to just like go in the rubbish, hang around in the rubbish, and that means there's no way of hoovering it without catching a load. So what you do, as soon as you've hoovered it, you empty the hoover onto a plate, and then the ants will run away from the dirt, and then you just use a piece of cotton wool just to dab on top of them, and they'll get onto it, and then you can put that cotton wool into the Outworld. It's, slightly counterproductive because you put dirt back in, but just hoover that again. Eventually you'll win, and that's the main part. Be sure when you're going through your Outworlds to check any water supplies. Make sure that if there is a water supply that relies on cotton wool, make sure it hasn't gone mouldy. In this case, it was very black, but it was also infested with ants. So what you do is you get the majority out with a light tapping motion. This sort of thing wouldn't be able to harm any of these ants. As you can see, they're all perfectly fine. Anyway, the cotton wool bud itself is infested, so how am I going to clean it? Pull it out and put it in the Outworld, and leave it there until they abandon it. Then just go ahead, refill the test tube, put some new cotton wool in, and there you go. And to just round off the video, I'm going to show you one of my mini Outworlds and how I clean this. Now, your Outworlds won't be as hard to clean as this, because this is quite a active colony that has also brought its eggs out into the area that needs cleaning. So this is probably as difficult as it gets, and it's still very easy. The method that I've come up with for cleaning these mainly the ones with large rocks and the slate, so the natural sort of designs, is to get small balls of cotton wool and wet them, and then use that to clean the surface. If you catch any eggs or ants, just tap them off and continue on. But once you've cleaned all the existing area with the wet cotton wool, what you want to do is then do it with a dry piece. See, I just accidentally scooped a few eggs up, and what I'm going to do now is use a dry piece of cotton wool to brush them off and put them back into the Outworld. I know you slightly missed this because I actually put the eggs in off camera, that sort of bottom side of the camera. The eggs are there now. And there was an ant on there, which is what I was tapping off in the video. So like I said, once you've fully cleaned with the wet ones, get dry cotton wool buds and then just dab away anything too thick, because you don't want excess moisture in the mini Outworlds, as you do not want to create condensation or any sort of danger zone for these tiny little ants. But as you can see, there's no problem here. Now these ants are particularly messy little ants, and the messy little species as well, and their waste is minute. It's all these little dots, and once they're placed down, they stick to everything. So as I said earlier, cleaning them 100% is never going to be achievable. Anyway guys, that's been a quick overlook of how I go about doing different types of Outworlds, and they mainly revolve around getting yourself one of them USB hoovers, and for a couple of quid, who can moan? Thanks a lot guys.